heart of downtown Raleigh. The NC F&amp podcast takes you behind the scenes of North Carolina's food and beverage industry. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NC F&amp. This episode is sponsored in part by Food Scene. That's foodsen.com. Providing professional photography, social media management, video production, and website design. That's Food Scene. And now, the sommeliers to the stars, the barbacks in your backyard. It is Max and Matt.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your co-host, Max Trujillo.
And I am your co-host, Matthew Weiss. And today we are going to war with pizza with Mr. Anthony Guerra. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, so Anthony, you are the owner, proprietor, creator of Oakwood Pizza Box right here in the Person Street area of Raleigh.
That's right. I hope so. Jeez.
So,
just to kick it off, we know no one's listening except for Anthony's mom.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Hi, Mom.
This is, as Anthony said when we asked him to be on the show, will be the worst episode we've ever done. So with that said, we're not going to do this show for our fans. We're just going to do it for these three guys in this room.
Yep.
It's going to be all whatever we want to talk about. Feel free to turn it off whenever you like.
and how many receptions will Le'Veon Bell have this year?
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So I do want to, though, paint a picture for somebody who might turn in at some point to this show. So Oakwood Pizza Box is famously your neighborhood pizza joint. And Anthony, you and I are both from Long Island. Just to paint a picture, your pizza joint actually looks much like my beloved Gino's Pizzeria in Great Neck, New York. And I was talking with Max this morning, like, I don't know if it was just nostalgia or the fact that they made really good pizza. Maybe you've even eaten there at some point. You're from Melville. But I can never think about anything equaling that pizza because it was just such, an iconic spot growing up there for me.
Well, Gino's, yes, great and iconic. And it's the classic New York's pizza spot on Long Island.
Okay, so you concur.
No, totally. I'm with you. Now, I found Gino's. I used to sell vitamin water, so that's how I found Gino's.
Okay.
I used vitamin water to go and try pizza joints.
Oh, like you were a rep for vitamin water.
I was a rep for vitamin water, so I used to just travel Long Island, and I'd be like, oh, I'm in Great Neck. I'm going to go eat pizza, or I'm in
what a great place to sell vitamin water, yeah.
That's a 50 cents jam, right?
That's
or
right.
Was?
That's right. It was his. It's a weird side note, but I literally drove around Long Island in a company car with a company credit card, and ate every single pizza joint that I could find of note.
Who knew that would be great R&D for your future project?
Oh, but it's crazy how that happened, but so I was all over Great Neck, all over that. So
that's funny.
All I wanted to do was open that old place that I used to go to.
Yeah.
So, from my past, I used to make wood-fired pizza, right? So Neapolitan pizza, and I was really devoted to it. But at the end of the day, it's not really who I was.
Yeah.
We did great work. My family and I did great work, and I loved that style, but it wasn't me. And you have a kid, and it changes. You guys both have kids. You have a kid, it changes everything. It's like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, I had a kid and started making pizza. Just like you, same story.
Yeah, but you change. The day, you go into work, you don't have a kid, and then you go to work, and it's like, oh shit, it is all different now.
Yeah,
it's not the same. I can't. She has to have a Gino's to go to. She needs to have an Umberto's to go to. She needs to have a pepperoni pizza. She doesn't need that. I can't give her this. No, I don't have that. I have a sopressata that's imported from. No. Here's a pepperoni pizza.
Right.
Here's a Coke. This is what you need.
Yeah, with New York style pizza oven.
Exactly.
And so yours was Umberto's. That was your local joint. Max, did you have a neighborhood pizza joint? Or what was it in bougie San Jose that you would go to get like a slice?
I mean, growing up, we just went to the old Round Table Pizza, which I guess is a chain that everyone.
Is that kind of like a Caesar's? Wasn't Round? Didn't they merge or something?
I don't know what happened to Round Table. I'm not up on my Round Table history, business history, but I do know that they were really good. There were a few few chains in the area, but the Koshkabaris were good friends of ours growing up. They had a huge family. They were from Iran, and they owned the local Round Table Pizza. So when we would finish any baseball games or something to that effect, like they sponsored the baseball, we'd go to Aydin Koshkabari's family's restaurant. So in a way, they had the kind of family thing. He went to high school with me in grade school.
Iranian pizza.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Is it like a falafel dough or like a chickpea dough on a pita bread or something like that?
I think back then they were like laying under the radar. They're like, yeah, we're Italian, sure.
Coca-Bari. It ends in a vowel.
Sure.
Here's a chain. Here's this. So here's some gel in my hair. I'm Italian, I swear.
Yeah, it's like any movie from the 60s or 70s. Let's just put any ethnicity. We'll just dither it down to he's the Hispanic guy or the Italian.
Right. Mm-hmm. Very, very simple.
Did Andy Garcia start that? Is that his fault? Is it anybody could be Italian type of thing?
Yeah, because he's Cuban, isn't he? Yeah. And he's basically just only playing Italian roles.
It's his fault. Yeah. I'm going right to him.
I actually don't like Andy Garcia. Just so y'all know, Joe Green, we good friends. See, this podcast, it's going to be whatever.
It's going off the rails.
Joe Green's in our fantasy football league. Good guy, horrible fantasy football player. And actually, we kicked him out because he's not very good. But Joe Green of Gang Green has a liquor store in Santa Monica. I used to sell him liquor and wine. Andy Garcia came in one time at the end of the night. He was about to close up shop, comes running in. We thought, oh, it's Andy Garcia. Wow, that's cool. He comes in and says, I'm looking for some rum. And Joe has this huge selection of rum. And he looks at it, he's like, all you have is a bunch of crap. And we're like, well, what about this? And Joe cares about liquor. He's like, no, we just brought this in. This is cool. This is one of the best ones he's labeling. He's like, it's fine. I'll take the Flotacana. And we're like, okay. And he was so bummed that he took this 20-year reserve Flotacana rum. He's like, I guess this will do.
Yeah.
And
wow.
He looked at us, but he was leaving. We're like, don't be such an ass. So Andy Garcia.
Or maybe he just really is that picky about his rum. I'm just throwing that out there.
I want to I'm going to sit in that camp right now. Yeah. What is he drinking? I want to go to his house. What is he on?
Maybe he has some serious rum that you just don't know about. Because I know that feeling, walking into a wine shop and being like, yeah, and they might be excited about, but it's nothing that I'm excited about.
Yeah. So you guys are all snobs.
What rum turns Andy Garcia? What's revving the engine?
Yeah.
What is
We're going to need to have Andy Garcia on the show.
Everybody that listens to the show tweet at Andy Garcia to ask him what is his rum jam.
I'm on it right now. What is he sipping?
Yeah. Hashtag NCFB pod. Yeah. Hashtag rum psycho.
Andy Garcia rum. Let's segue back into
pizza.
Yeah, our pizza. But actually, even though it is a cool neighborhood joint, you do have some cool cocktails as well.
Yeah, no, we so I guess this place is really personal for me. It's very much who I am and what I've done before this. Somebody trusted me to run the bar program for On and Carrie. Rest in peace. We'll pour a little bit out for that. But they trusted me to run it, and I really had no idea what I was doing, but I had the keys to a Ferrari, so I started to figure out how to drive the car.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you see and drink in Pizza Box is thanks to the Good Nights allowing me to do that over there and learn and kick around and build a wine program and build a cocktail program. And we try to put it all in there. If you want it, it's there. If you just want the pepperoni pizza and a Coke, that's fine.
Right.
If you want to keep going, there's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
There's a wine list now, and there's a back wine list now.
Oh, the back that's changed since last we were doing business.
I know it. Because only now that we're like, all right, well, people like this, we should keep going.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, as soon as people start, if you show me it's like, oh, they're into it. All right, how far can I go?
Right.
And a little birdie, whose name is Matthew Bettinger, he's the birdie, told me that he helped out a little bit, didn't he?
Oh, dude, he's the best, dude. So so when we built the cocktail list, this is great. So Matt and I he's probably my best friend that I have. The only
to establish real quick, Matthew Bettinger, who's been on the show many times. He was the third guest on our show ever, and he owns and runs Sidebar with his beautiful bride, but also of the Sea Grace fame and local cocktail man.
And we're actually drinking from his water pitcher that he needs to pick up from the studio.
Yeah, this is how we'll know that he listens to the podcast
nice.
Is I have your water pitcher, Matthew, and if you want it, you got to come get it or at least tell me to bring it to you. But if you never listen, you'll never get it.
How did you get it from him?
He helped us do our opening here at the kitchen when we had a 5-night happy hour opening up this space, and he was Monday night, first night.
Oh, man.
Making delicious cocktails.
No, he's really talented. Let me think about where we were. We were drinking someplace. we generally get together, and don't try to find me ever on these days. On Mondays, we'll get together and shoot the shit or talk shop or whatever therapy session that we need to get through small business ownership and hospitality ownership. And we're in the process of opening Pizza Box, and we're like, all right, we need heavy hitters. It's a 5 cocktail list. Let's talk about having as few spirits as humanly possible to still curate a program. Because the idea is minimalism, right? It's like, all right, pare it all the way back into what you basically need and don't go past it, because you don't want to have all these options where you're like, look at the wall, look at all of those rums. I just wanted, whatever.
Andy Garcia would be so pissed.
Oh my God, he'd be so mad.
Or content.
If you pick the right one.
Yeah.
Good luck picking that. I mean, if you don't have it in a liquor store, what is he?
He's like, do you have a Bacardi?
That's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if he ended up with like a bubblegum flavored something, strawberry rum. Like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah,
the
that
whole
would
time.
have been.
This is it.
You got Admiral Nelson's strawberry Kool-Aid, something like that.
Applejack back there. Yeah.
No, so that was the minimalism. So we came up with the cocktail list in about 20 minutes. It's kind of like you hear about hit songs written really fast.
Yeah.
Right? Like a big Howard Stern fan, a big radio guy myself. So every time anybody ever comes on, like, oh, yeah, I did that hit song in like 3 minutes. I was in the shower and I just wrote it down and played it.
And sometimes it just comes to you, right?
Yeah, no, it's all, we were like, all right, we can't curate this too much. It's got to be just go, hit it, done, write it, stream of thought, make it, done, finish.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, Oakwood Pizza Box was not all just stream of thought and like, let's do something, because for those people listening, it wasn't even just you doing R&D, selling vitamin water, driving around Long Island, eating at pizza joints. You and your family actually had one of the most successful pizza joints in the area with Bella Mia and Cary. Tell us a little bit about that story, because you were coming down here to go to school at UNC, right?
That's right.
And then your pops was living in New York still, and he thought, oh, we could make a pizza joint out here really well.
Yeah, that's basically how it went. He called me up. Everybody thinks that he knows how to make pizza. It's kind of one of the funny things.
Okay.
So I'll get that all the time. Like, oh, your dad gave you the recipe. It's like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of let it go. It's kind of funny to all of us, and my siblings all laugh at that. My brothers will laugh at it for sure. But no, we decided we're going to open a pizza place, and we have always eaten. I've been so fortunate to always eat at great restaurants, and that's what has pushed me in this business, is that I have that memory bank of the experiences and how I felt. I didn't know what they were doing. I had no idea what the hell they were doing, but I knew how I felt. I knew how it ate. I knew how the pizza crunched and the cheese and the ovens, and in reviewing them back, I mean, we were very well versed in that, but it's quite different to open a restaurant from like, oh, okay, I went from eating like, oh, I'm a really good eater of restaurants, and now it's like, oh shit, I gotta open this thing. And no, so we end up, I'm a junior, senior at Chapel Hill. My dad's like, I'm gonna open a pizza place. I'm like hell you are. What are you gonna do? He's like, I'm just gonna make it like Lombardi's. Dad, I don't think you can do that. Like, that doesn't happen like that. It's not like, no. I'm just going to open,
What was your dad doing at that time?
Yeah, so the family was in wholesale produce. So up in the Bronx, connected to restaurants. We always knew where to eat. We always went to those places.
Okay.
But again, the difference between the diner and the chef or the maitre d' or the restaurant.
Yeah, there's big leaps.
Yeah, it's a huge leap,
So wait a minute. So, and for the listeners and for me, you have a few brothers, right?
That's right.
What's your lineup?
Let's quantify this here. So I have an older brother who's about 2 years older than me. He's Lewis. Myself, then my sister. She's super talented, and she is in Austin, Texas. And then we have the youngest of the bunch is John, and he is at NC Central right now, going to the NCAA tournament this week.
Wow.
Amazing. That is so cool.
Yeah, Eagle Pride.
What's his number? What's his jersey number?
55.
All right, let's go 55.
55, yeah. He is a 3-time MEAC champion.
Wow.
3 times. That's pretty cool.
Whoa.
But anyway.
What seed did they get?
they are playing in for the 16th. They have the right to play Zion and company.
Oh, take Zion down.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, so they're playing. They're in the playing
They're
game.
playing game to go against Zion and company.
Oh,
there.
cool.
This is being recorded on Monday the 21st, so
Yeah.
we don't know what really happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a good caveat. Then, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but now they're in the
awesome,
Sweet
though.
16 as this is happening.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
can't believe. Yeah, they took him down. I called it right here.
Yeah.
Put it to tape.
So you have all these brothers. So your brother now is about the age of you back when your dad is opening up this pizza joint. This is in 2010, I believe.
It's
right?
20. So yeah, I think it's 2010 that we have this discussion, and we are. So I was like, all right, Dad, I'll help you. My older brother was in banking at the time. So it's like,
So
all right, well,
naturally,
you're
you
not
can
gonna
make pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, he's not going to leave banking to go make pizza. I don't really know what I'm going to do. And actually, Vitamin Water had just sold that summer. So I was like, oh, that gig is gone. I'm going to have to find a new gig. I don't have a corporate card to go eat pizza everywhere. I better go make it. No, so we ended up doing that, chasing down that dream. And that was from the day that we said we were going to do it, I mean, it's probably about another 2 years before it actually comes to happen. So in that period was just take the Pizza Search National and really take notes. I mean, I must have 4 or 5 notebooks of what I've digested from sitting in places trying to back into what's happening. How do I do this? Or, I like the way that was, or this was great, or I saw this symbol on an oven, and it was sort of like, okay, but then what does that symbol mean? Who makes that oven?
Hold on, I want to tee this up because I as a good radio person, you listen to the Howard Stern and a lot of sports talk. Let's tee this up. We're going to go to break real quick with a spot from Forest Firm and our friend Jen Hoverstadt. I want you to tell us how this ragtag group of brothers that were not really meant to make a pizza place end up becoming the Restaurant of the Year by Greg Cox just shortly after opening.
Everybody has legal questions, especially in the food and beverage industry. So that's why we've provided Jen and the Forest Firm to help us out. And if you follow us on Instagram at NCFB Pod, we'll put out a post weekly from Forest Firm and ask a question. It might be the question that we ask Jen on the show. We have an idea for a thing here at the kitchen, Raleigh. It's a ridiculous idea, but sometimes the most ridiculous ideas can turn into real ideas by just knocking out all the logistics. What if somebody on the 4th floor wanted to deliver tacos to people on the ground floor of the outside of a business, and they made tacos inside the 4th floor office room and then created a tube that slid tacos down to the floor down on the sidewalk of the corner of Hargett and Fayetteville. Let's call it a taco tube. And if the guy that runs the whole place is named Tony, because it's Tony's Taco Tube. How? This is a ridiculous idea. Never mind. I'm wasting.
No. Maybe it brings up an interesting thing.
So a friend of ours we were laughing. We said, what do we do with this extra space here at the office? We got this extra room. We don't know what to do. And he said, you know what you do? You should make some tacos and throw them out the window with like a little parachute. And we said, well, that's ridiculous. Parachutes wouldn't work, but a slide would work.
A taco tube.
And we thought,
It's like a modern dumbwaiter, but for tacos.
Yeah, so we want to sell to people that are on the street. They want tacos. Maybe they're $2 because $2 tacos makes a lot of sense. Maybe on Tuesdays. And
there you go.
How would Tony go through the steps?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, we love when people come to us with absolutely crazy ideas and we just have to unpack them and figure out where to go with that. So never disqualify your own idea before you talk to us and think hey, legally, can I even do this? Because here's the thing, first of all, with Tony's Tacos, I'll sign up to be a taste tester because that just sounds like fun and amazing idea. But you're right, there are a lot of issues that's going to go into that. Of course, Tony would want to set up his own LLC, make sure he has the business piece up and running. But then, of course, we need to look at, okay, well, where are these being made? Obviously, it's going to be served to the public, needs to be a commercial kitchen. Can a commercial kitchen legally be in your building on the 4th floor? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Mm-hmm. And then does your landlord, are there things in your lease that allow you to create a tube, that allow you to have this space because someone owns that space outside of your building, that wall space? So can you use that per the contracts of your lease, or does a new lease have to take place in order for that to happen. Does the city allow for food to come out of a tube down the side of a building? I've never looked into that. So honestly,
I'm sure there's a lot of precedent. There's the sanitary ramifications of tacos through a tube would be
right.
Yeah.
How does that work? There's lots of questions for it, but that's all to say, because it's a super creative idea and it's something new and fun. Don't disqualify it. Let's map out the checklist and figure out all the things we need to do, because quite often a business does come to us with an idea that's certainly much simpler than a taco tube.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance. Let's talk it through and work through all the details.
Coming to you in 2020, Tony's Taco Tube on Tuesdays from 2 to 2, and Jen will be the taco taster.
Yes.
Jen, thank you very much for this segment, for all the segments. And if you want to learn more information about your tubes, your tacos, your food ideas, anything that has something to do with your business, please contact Forest Firm. And here are the details. To learn more about the Forest Firm and what they can do for you, click the link in our show notes. Or visit forestfirm.com/NCFB to request a free consultation for your business. You can also reach them at 877-669-1455. Forest Firm, business attorneys across North Carolina.
Okay, so we're back. How did you seriously go from really, you're pretending like you don't really know what you're doing, to then Greg Cox naming you guys the Restaurant of the Year?
So I think that my family has a switch where we can turn everything off. And my wife has to deal with this, and I'm sorry for that all the time. But we can turn off everything and focus on one thing. And we all do it. So my brother does it, my Lewis, older brother, does it the most. He could do it in a way that I've never seen anybody do it. I swear he locked himself in a room because he had to learn Russian. He taught himself Russian 2 weeks. He's speaking Russian. Like he's that level of savant.
Just to give an example, I believe he's now a Green Beret.
Yeah, he is Special Forces. He decided. Well, that's part of the reason. We'll talk about that at the end. But that's part of the end of Bella Mia was basically we wanted to go separate ways and get new challenges. But the thrill of the challenge. We slept in that building. Yeah. I mean, we would sleep in between lunch and dinner. I would sleep in Bella Mia because I was too tired to go home. I was too tired to stand up. It was everything. And you always try to evaluate each individual component for the pizza. And we did that. And we did it every day for hours. It never stopped. I mean, we figured out that the pizza would be better if we made the mozz multiple times in a day. So that's what we did.
The mozzarella?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we figured that out. And
so it was extremely fresh at all times?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It's at a level of absurdity that, but we didn't have any restaurant tricks. We knew nothing of restaurant tricks. So any games.
Well, yeah, there wasn't the NC F&B podcast back in the day.
That's
so what would you have done?
Right. I was lost. I was in the woods. No, so we didn't have any shortcuts. So it was basically, all right, well, we didn't know what other restaurants, like a mediocre restaurant would have done to approach these problems. We just knew it as, all right, well, like, would you serve it in your house? Like, I wouldn't. All right, it's better like this, or I would do like this.
Right.
But it seems like you weren't content with being a mediocre restaurant. I mean,
no.
you're saying this, modestly, but down deep, you guys wanted this to be the best, right?
Yeah, always. I think that you either have to be the best or you have to be the cheapest to survive. It is very hard in this world to sit in the middle because it's hard to shoot for the middle. If you're shooting for the top floor, and my food reps know this, they know this damn well with me. I'm freaking out right now on one of my reps about a lot number on tomatoes. Because there's a lot that I like and a lot that I don't.
That's still going. That was going on a year ago. We were talking about that you were getting at different cans.
I'm getting different lot. Well, each. So, all right. Here's an example of what we used to do in Bella Mia that I do now still because I'm still the way I am and I'm habitually dissatisfied. nobody thinks about a canned tomato as it's a living thing, right? This thing was just like wine. It experienced a growing season.
Yeah,
it
growing on the vine.
Picked and then put into containers, canned, and they put a picture on it. But somehow people equate that picture with the flavor in the can. You need to read the codes and understand that it's changing, and you need to know what lots are what. So when you go through that process, some are good, some are bad. The picture's the same. I mean, listen, we could throw.
Yeah, I never would have thought there was any different. San Marzano, right? That's like a great. I hope a great can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, by your standards, you'd dig on a San Marzano.
Absolutely great. No, great tomatoes. Yeah. But you need to. I would tell you that you need to line them well, especially when you have a food rep that's trying to sell you these really expensive tomatoes.
Fucking reps, man.
Bring them. Oh my gosh, reps.
No, food. What your dad did.
No, he
was. You yelled at your dad.
No, well, my dad wouldn't be pushing. My dad does specialty things. It's far different than. He's not trying to push. He's not trying to hide a shitty case of onions underneath 3 good cases of onions, and then trying to take the money for it. Yeah, don't be don't be that way. I'm going to try to edit myself a little bit. I work in restaurants, so I could let it fly. But with tomatoes, you have to be careful with that stuff because they change. It's different, and they might not be bad, but they might be a little bit more acidic, a little less sweet. So you need to adjust the way that you're making sauce, or you can adjust anything, but when you're walking the tightrope of a pizza, right, there's this little bit on there, and it's supposed to be a certain way. You just have to make sure it's right. Mm-hmm. And the easiest way to do that is to make sure that you're getting, consistent cans coming through.
So are you taste testing every can that you bring in? Or?
It's one of the weird things about Pizza Box, and this was true of Bella Mia, except I had my brother too, which really kind of helped. But I'm buying everything that comes in the kitchen. I'm then unpacking everything that's coming in the kitchen. I am then prepping just about everything that's getting prepped into the station, and I'm actually the one making it as well. Yeah. So it's like a rare instance where I know the life cycle of an ingredient that comes into my kitchen. Its whole cycle I control, which in other restaurants they don't have that luxury because they're doing so many more things, or they have more services, and there's a lot of things going on. So sometimes you would miss something like this. But for me, we only do pizza,
and that's the way you want it to be.
Oh God, yeah. I don't want to change it.
Is that
I would
fear
freak
of
out.
Just not? It's trust, maybe a little trust issue.
Probably trust issues. I think that I carry a lot of what we achieved at Bella Mia. I carry in Pizza Box. Yeah. I would not let that fall. We had issues. There's always issues in restaurants, right? The dough wasn't acting the way I needed to. So, last Saturday, I was in work at 6 a.m. I didn't leave that night until 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but I power through those shifts because those are the ones that separate the good from the bad. That's it. You found an issue, you got to deal with it. And it's a living, breathing thing. Pizza is. It's moving, it's trying to run away from you every day. It's like trying to cook a lobster that doesn't have the rubber bands on. He could run. Like the Swedish chef just whacking them in there.
So just the other day, we recorded at Flying Tiger Sound, which is next door, kitty corner to Oakwood Pizza Box, the theme song of the podcast. And I boxed in Anthony. I just parked in the alley. Earlier that day, we had food, but we didn't have forks or knives. We had food to eat in the studio, and I had to go run in and ask Anthony if I could just have a plastic fork. Of course, he didn't delegate. He got it himself for me, and he was slammed busy. There was a line out the door. Drew from the News and Observer was there enjoying a pie. Everyone around town just knows this is where you go. Saturday night, it's crazy busy. And then, of course, at maybe 1 in the morning, it was late. It was midnight or so. I don't know. We get a text from the owner of Troy gets a text in the studio. He's like, "Oh man, Anthony's trying to get out." Anthony is like, "Yeah, from the Pizza Box. He's trying to leave. Your truck's in the way." So I had to get out there and move my truck. But proof in the fact that this guy was there all day, all night, and that's just a typical work day for him.
But if you. A lot of people talk about this now. A lot of people talk about what is your why? And it's this famous thing now. A lot of inspirational speakers talk about that, but it's on fire inside of me. It's not. It's on fire. It's all the time. I was bothered last night because I didn't clean the hood I had to clean the hood. So at 11 o'clock last night, I'm up on the hood after service cleaning. And I don't want any credit for this, but it's just, I think people, and if young people are listening to this who want to open a restaurant, I mean, you have to understand something. If you don't have that, don't come in this business. Don't come in here. This is for that kind of a dedication, that kind of sacrifice.
So you're a perfectionist, maybe a little OCD, maybe a little ADD, all the above. So as a business owner, though, how do you scale that, especially as you said, as a father now of 2 girls, because I assume you want to be part of their lives pretty often. So working on cleaning the hoods and working on fermentation recipes from 1 in the morning till 6 in the morning is not, or 6 in the morning till 1 in the morning is not going to be sustainable.
Yeah, I don't know that you can look at long term. For me, I look at the day-to-day and hit services the way that I want to, because it makes me feel okay. I don't sleep at night if it's not set right. The long-term vision, listen, my team is so talented right now. I have such a talented staff. They're literally amazing. I've had the great fortune of working in some great places after Bella Mia.
Yeah.
And
You've worked for 3 of the 2 notably top chefs in the area, and working for Scott Crawford and Ashley Christensen, and then also working for Stephen Devereaux Green, who's the executive chef of the Umstead.
Right. Yeah, no. So, I mean, we should touch on that for a second.
Well, yeah, was the question I was going to ask is who else has that as on their resume in this state to have all 3 of those amazing chefs on their resume?
Another good trivia question, poll question for Twitter or Instagram, please.
Yeah.
Who else has worked for all 3 of those chefs?
I mean, John Childers, who I worked with over at Midtown, has worked for both Chef Scott Crawford and Chef Green. He currently works with Chef Green, but I don't think he's ever worked for Ashley. And then it's that Ashley usually, she's like in her own camp, and then you've got like the Umstead kind of tree that went off in another direction too. But to connect, you're a rare breed, and that's what I was saying to Matt earlier. Like thinking about who you are as what you represent to this food community, Anthony. And when you read your resume, I mean, aside from the vitamin water days, but when you read the resume of running on and doing a lot of the beverage program there, and then you're working with Scott Crawford, opening up Crawford and Son, iconic, newly iconic restaurant in this area. I'd be hard pressed to say there are better restaurants than Crawford and Son in this area. I think there are restaurants that are of its ilk, but better.
Those guys are so talented. Crystal Swenson's the most talented human being I think I've ever worked with. She's amazing.
She's the pastry chef.
She's pastry chef.
Yes.
Oh my God, she would just like come through with something like, "What the hell is that?"
And
like
then,
she's amazing.
But then you worked at Pool's Diner.
I was a line cook.
You were a line cook.
So this was sort of so take Bella Mia, fast forward a little bit. I realized that I wanted to do something in Raleigh proper, because at this point my network downtown is growing. So I met Matt right down there. So Matt was bartending.
Matt Bettinger, yeah.
Matt Bettinger was bartending in Foundation, and I didn't know anybody. And we finally got to the point where Bella Mia, we convinced my dad that we should close on Mondays. We were otherwise 7 days a week, 2 services every day. My brother and I made every pizza. My brother and I did 90 straight days, 90 straight. He lost about 45, 50 pounds.
Wow.
I was down 30 pounds, like brutal, just like doing it. But
So
we
you
were
clearly weren't getting high on your own supply.
Oh God, no. No, you couldn't eat. You didn't have time. You were just prepping. So we were going through this because we needed to teach ourselves before we could teach anybody else. You can't teach somebody if you don't know yourself, and if you don't put 10,000 hours in, truly you don't know what you're doing. So we figure out that we should close on Monday, and my dad finally buys in on this. I forget how that even went. But anyway, so I started going out because I was trying to build a cocktail program. I was like, let me see what's going on in the world. I heard about Foundation. I was working on this is a true story, 100% to the fact. I was working on a New York sour for Bella Mia. So it's a whiskey sour, red wine float. Kind of tied together what my interests were in terms of old school cocktails at that point, the wine program, sort of pick a full body red, float it on top. It's a really pretty drink, a really cool drink, classic drink. I couldn't get it to work right. It wasn't, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the float down. The drink it didn't have the texture it needed. So I walk in, I sit at Foundation, and first time I'm ever in there, I never really went to any of these places, right? So I sit down, and he's behind the bar. Lewis of Bittersweet's the bar back.
Yeah, Lewis Norton, great guy.
Great guy. What a human being he is. And I said, listen, man, it's my first time here. I got to be honest, I don't really drink, but, like, can you just make something? You know the drink he handed me?
A New York Sour?
New York Sour, perfect.
Wow.
New York Sour, perfect. And from that day on, I was like, holy shit, this is weird. How did you hit that? How did you know that? Like, what? It's like when Google, like, knows what you're looking at or talking about. It comes up.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? So we've been 2 peas in a pod since then, but he gave me that cocktail. It was amazing.
That is crazy. And speaking of people who know what you want to drink, or if they don't know, they have it, is Triangle Wine Company. So we need to talk about those guys for a moment because they have 4 locations.
Mm-hmm. They sell wine, which you could float on top of a New York Sour.
Yes, exactly.
But they have, they have 4 locations we've mentioned before, kind of on the western side of the triangle, from Morrisville, Cary, Southern Pines, and then sometime Holly Springs, Matt's neck of the woods. But you can go to trianglewineco.com to order wine, beer, any of your beverage essentials online. They have delivery, and they also allow a 10% promo code to be used when you put in NCFB. You save $10, or you save 10%. Well, it would be $10 if you spend $100. Don't be cheap. At least spend $100. Then you save $10.
Yeah, trianglewineco.com for all your needs.
Why wouldn't you spend $100?
I mean,
in. Yeah. I don't even know what I need, but I'm buying it.
I will say I was at the ABC on Saturday buying just some random stuff for this cocktail I was doing, and I looked over and saw some mezcal, and it was $45, and I thought, I want mezcal. I just want that on my back bar at home. And then I was like, $45, kind of expensive. The budget of a podcaster, not so high. And then I rationalized. I said, wait a minute, it's $45. There are arguably, even if you heavy pour, 15 to 20 drinks in a bottle. Start doing the math. That's a good deal. And then I just said, okay, I'm buying this bottle. And so now I own that bottle of mezcal, and my back bar looks even more pretty. But it's not that expensive when you buy liquor, you justify it. Gary Crunkleton said that back in the day. He's like, I'm surprised whiskey is not more expensive than what it is. But
I started collecting that kind of stuff because, I got frustrated with wine because you don't have somebody to drink it with. It's like, what do I got to do? Bend down this bottle by myself? Like, this is weird. Well, whiskey, I pour a little nip here, I pour a little nip there, and it's still fine.
It doesn't go bad, right? That's a good point. Yeah, that is really true about liquor. But
so okay, but
all right, let's go. So I thought that I needed to. So we're in the end of Bellamia. I want to come downtown. My brother wants to do the military, and we had the opportunity to leave together what we started, which I think is the only way that we would have ever done that. That's just the way we are. We go in together, we leave together, that's it.
And Papa Guerra was ready? He was
we were all, My dad just goes, he's in New York, he plays cards all day, like he's hanging out. Like
he wasn't even down here running
No, he was down here running it. But, he was ready to go back and play cards and find all the backroom poker places and do all that.
So that's the reason it ended. You guys were you needed a new challenge?
It was a new challenge. Else? New challenge for sure. Huge. That's huge for us.
How did you feel when you were given the Restaurant of the Year accolade?
God, that was amazing.
And what happened to the business at that moment?
Okay, so before Restaurant of the Year, you have to go to the review. So we were doing all this work and working all these hours. Nobody knew. It was that classic tree in the forest falling down. Nobody knew. Did it make a noise?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does anything make a noise? If you break a plate in Bellamia, does it make a noise?
Yeah.
There's nobody here. Does it matter? Hello? Hello? I don't know. We would make like 40 pizzas a day, right? Something like that. Just grinding. But learning our craft, and that time was so important because we were working through so much. So we get the call from Greg Cox. He calls you before it comes out.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm reviewing you. And we're like, oh, okay, really? Like, okay, was it good? Well, you'll read it, he just asks questions of my dad, questions that he has. He doesn't tell you what it is. And it's sort of like, Oh, all right. Did he like it? Did he get
But
good
it gives
pizza?
you a little inkling, right? Like asks you if you're well staffed for the weekend and stuff like that. Like, if he's asking you that kind of questions, you have enough parking. That means
Hey, I point blank asked
theoretically.
him at Standard Foods when the review came out, the second review when it was under Eric Montagny. I just said, I know you can't say anything, Greg, but thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah. Well,
Which is totally asking him everything, and he went, "Oh, thumbs up, man, you'll be fine."
You're fine. Yeah, no. No, so did we have an ink? I don't remember having a strong inkling of what we were gonna do. I mean, he said that he came in like the first month we were open, so we were like, oh shit.
We didn't even know about making the mozzarella freshener in the day at that point.
No, at that point we knew how to light fires and we knew basically what we were doing. Listen, was the pizza good? Yeah, the pizza was good, but it wasn't where it was 3 months in.
Sure. After 10,000 hours.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, we get that call, and I remember going to sleep and then waking up, and my mom had went to the store and got the newspapers, and I just cried because it's a 4-star review, and that was the most that he could give us because we weren't a tablecloth restaurant. Which, Greg, I'm going to ask you openly right now in front of everybody. Hear me here, you there.
It's just the three of us, Greg.
Can we get rid of that barbaric system?
Is that
a 5-star?
still
5 stars. I love. Now listen, I love everything that they do. I want 5 star. Like if you're a great chicken place and you just do fried chicken, and you execute that really well, 5-star, 5 chicken. You're fried chicken. You're
why
not.
if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and
it's the same thing with like the Oscars and comedies, right? Like
Yeah.
Anchorman, arguably when it came out, was hilarious.
Right.
There's no way that the Oscars would say this is the best movie of the year, but you try making the funniest movie of the year.
No,
like it's extremely challenging, and they set out to make a comedy, and they achieved it.
Yes.
So if you set out to making a pizza and you make the best pizza,
Yeah.
why can't you be the top of the line?
Well, that goes back to like Michelin Guide rules. I think they have those standards about like how your bathroom looks and how your napkins are folded and how they're
Forbes.
clean.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Don't you're bringing me back? You're bringing me to the
Back to the
Umstead
Umstead.
days. Oh
Yeah,
man, I'm
exactly.
shaking.
I can imagine.
I'm shaking.
But
I almost feel the email coming in my pocket about somebody saw a light out in the bathroom and it needs to be fixed immediately. Oh God, I'm
Back
sorry.
at the Umstead.
Yeah,
gosh,
Hot Tran gave us all that like anxiety. First guest of our show ever, and just the level of excellence you have to exude at all times. That would make me not want to be in the restaurant industry at that
Oh man,
point.
it's a different beast. That's a different beast. Once you conquer that, it's crazy. But I remember reading the first review. The first review changed everything. So we went up into making. I mean, I'm prepping out for dinner service. We're open at 5. It's 4:15. There was a line waiting outside the doors, down around the block. And I'm looking, and I'm like, it was an amazingly powerful feeling because I was that guy in line at every place before they opened to try to get the pizza because I was dying to have it.
the Badia pizza story.
Oh my God, Joe Betty he's the best. Joe is the best. But there's all the greats have a line, because you can only make so many pizzas, and
Yeah.
if 100 of
And
your
everybody
buddies
wants
show up
one.
at the same time, it's like, all right. I mean, this isn't like here's a hot dog. So I had that. Once when we saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is like a real thing now. This isn't a joke
Yeah.
anymore. Like this isn't a hobby. Like these are real people.
And they're hungry.
They're hungry and they're all in line.
So I don't want to. We could talk about Bella Mia all day, but we haven't talked much about Oakwood, and I do want to talk about this a little bit because yes, you have brought it back there, and I would guess, or I would say, re-established, reinvigorated, carried through your reputation that was built at Bella Mia through Oakwood. So at Oakwood, just to set the stage, it's different, and we touched on it a little bit, but you decidedly went against the grain of this trend of Neapolitan pizza and the 12-inch pie and the thin slice, and went to the old school neighborhood 18-inch pie. And people will talk about the oven choice there, which is the 1857 Montague, right?
Montagues. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Great oven.
And so I want to talk a little bit about how you make your pizza there. And also the other thing that I love, Max, you might know this, he is a cheese first guy. So he puts the cheese on the pizza before the sauce.
I didn't know that.
So actually, I am a cheese both ways guy. It's cheese and then cheese. It's cheese, sauce, cheese.
But
It's a little cheese sandwich.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that.
But laying down the cheese first is key because it doesn't all pull off. You know, sometimes you find that you'll pull off that top layer of cheese as soon as you bite it, it all's gone, and the rest of the slice doesn't have cheese.
Yeah, and I find with some of these Neapolitan pizzas that by the time you're done, you go to, it's all gone. You don't even get the
Tomato
cheese on
sauce is like an oil slick, and you put this like heavy mat on top that is the cheese.
Yeah.
If you don't cut it right,
Yeah.
you've lost it all on the pickup.
That's right. And then you also there's a battle going on when you're cooking a pizza between the sauce and the crispy dough cooking. So if you're having a cushion between it, so I lay down the cheese, and why I slice it like that and why it's placed like that is because surface area to keep the sauce from touching that dough, it'll crisp up better. It always cooks better.
Yeah, because you're eliminating not as much moisture there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
correct. So
Cool.
that's the other play there, because you'll never find a crispy Neapolitan pizza. Obviously, 90-second cook time has a lot to do with that, but also if you're putting moisture down onto it, you have no shot at being crispy.
Yeah. And so with Neapolitan, it's typically like 800 to 900 degrees that they get, and you want obviously, most of the time, the wood-fired.
That's right, wood-fired always on the Neapolitan, classic Neapolitan. The 90-second cook is everything. It's more of a pillowy texture, kind of like a soft, like hug, almost. But no, I wanted to do something different because, well, we talked about challenges in me. I never really made pizza like Pizza Box, this classic New York style. I never did that. I skipped that altogether. I didn't work on these ovens until they were put in place. I spent all this money, my entire life savings, and then some, and then the bank owns everything that I'll ever do for the next 15 years. I do all of this stuff, and then I made a pizza in the oven for the first time. I was like, this could be terrible. My theory could be total. I had theories and stuff and what I thought would do and how to do this and how to do that, but you don't know until you actually eat the product. And my wife wasn't even here for that, by the way. So we turned the ovens on. I'm making pizza for the first time. My wife is across the country, but my older brother, surprised me, and he came right before we opened it. We cooked pizzas, and it was like,
oh, that's cool.
Thank God. This pizza doesn't suck.
Right.
Like, okay, we're on to something. This is okay.
It's like validation of everything
right.
you've been
Yeah,
theorizing.
so we had that conversation with Teddy Diggs recently about the ovens, and he was trying to like telling us kind of break your convention of what you think the oven is supposed to be. You know, he's not doing the wood fire high.
He's doing
doing an electric oven. But he's like,
oh, is he doing electric?
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Those Norretti ovens, I believe they're called.
Okay, cool. I'm doing an R&D trip coming up here to go test some of those ovens.
We'll go hang out with Teddy. He can probably. I'm going to let you know that Teddy says it's okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. No, that's great. No.
I'll set it up. I'll send you a calendar invite for him.
Oh,
like Sam Ratto.
Sam Ratto.
But.
Sam, you want to get a beer? You got to send me an invite. I can't. Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
But if you want to hang out with the guy that makes best chocolate in town, send him a calendar invite.
Oh, he's the best.
But so you just kind of took it on a lark, I think by research and study that this oven will be what I effectively benchmark my new pizza making around.
Basically.
It's a pretty big and bold decision.
Listen, to open a restaurant, you're categorically insane. There's a fucking problem. I mean, you have an issue that you want to take all of this risk, and then you think that you can make something better than exists in the world. You're crazy.
I guess
we need that on a loop, by the way. That you're categorically insane, and then we need Ray Romano to do that.
Yeah,
we already did.
It's me. No, it's great. No, I can do all the voiceovers for Ice Age after this. So all right. So I guess to quantify the ovens. So the ovens themselves, I saw them in use. I mean, I knew that they worked. They're the hottest ovens you can buy. They have the most BTUs. They have the most thermal mass. I mean, I've seen them. I've eaten pizza out of them before. I mean, I knew you could do it.
In the end, you just need heat. It's kind of what
you need massive heat, and you need cook time to go down. You can't have a long cook. Yeah, exactly.
And like Teddy was saying, with the wood burning ovens, they create so many other effectively could create problems. You got all the smoke and the soot and all the other things that now impart onto the pizza. He was like, I just want to make the pizza right. I don't want all the additional things that the
And also, you have to employ somebody to man the fire.
I think that's.
Run the oven.
I mean, I don't want to speak for Teddy, but I'd imagine that's the number one concern that he would have.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it was.
It was. I mean, that's really hard to do because it's a lifestyle. That's why my brothers and I were the only three that made pizza.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be like, all right, guys, here, you run the oven tonight. All right, Johnny, you got this.
Yeah. And that was coal-fired, though, which I assume you still need to run the fire.
It's the same way. We used wood. So we used a little bit of coal, and then we used wood for a top flame. So it's essentially the same way you would operate a wood-fired oven.
Okay.
We didn't want to do it the way that Lombardi's does because you don't have those gigantic, like the Frank Pepe's ovens. Have you ever seen those? They're like basically a large room. It's actually the oven. The coal is underneath. It's hot. It's beautiful, great pizza. They're totally unique.
And you, obviously, friend of here or connector here at the kitchen, you had Konar design the pizza box. He's our resident architect here at the area. So you have some cool people in the area just building it. Did you force Konar to like go up to Long Island and like check out like the way it looked, or how did you articulate to him your design? Because for Matt, being a Long Islander, you walk in, you're like, I feel like I'm at home.
Totally.
So how did you nail that, and how did you articulate that to this like Polish immigrant Matthew Konar?
Yeah, strong man. Yeah.
He's lifting heavy weights at Konar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Powerlifting the ovens.
Yeah. Is that what the shaking is on the ground there? Is that what I'm feeling?
Exactly. He did a clean and jerk in the conference room just now.
No, so it's actually really interesting that the design and the way that Oakwood Pizza Box feels is so much. I mean, we tried to. My wife and I did a really long trip midway through the build-out process because I had a freak out. I was like, Brett, I'm going to run out of money. Like, everything that you want and that we talked about wanting, we can't have. We literally don't have the money. Like, it doesn't exist. And so we were like, all right, let's do this great idea. Let's take a trip. So we took a road trip, and part of the road trip, the idea was that I was trying to convey to everybody what I wanted, and they weren't feeling it. Because, I mean, I just needed you. That's all I needed, Matt.
Seriously, man. You should have just called me.
Okay, here, listen to him. He knows. He knows from what I'm saying. No, so we took this long trip, and we hit all these old school pizza joints.
Wait, who was on the trip with you?
So it was my wife, Vivian, my daughter, my 2-year-old daughter, who was, she was young. But she was eating solid food, so it was like, she has to come. She's here. And it was just us three. And we road tripped up, stopped in Philly, and then did New York. Of course, Brooklyn was heavy, because this is a very, very Brooklyn thing. If you're going to break it into like the style of pizza, it's a very particular area if you wanted to go beyond just New York. So I said to my wife, let's take pictures of what we're going to see. Let's write down what we like. If it doesn't exist in any of these case studies, it doesn't come into Pizza Box. Because at that point, everybody, not Konar wasn't throwing this, but the contractor, people around me, you got to do a marble bar, and you have to have a custom banquette, and then you have to have gold fixtures or whatever.
Cha-ching,
yeah,
cha-ching, every time you hear it.
I'm like, oh God, do I have to do that? You know, you're going through it's self-doubt is what it is. It's like, but I just want a pizza joint.
Yeah.
At those contour booths, like, I just need that. So we took this trip as sort of like, all right, these places are still open. They've been open for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, I don't need it. Because I can't afford it. It would be nice
I imagine
to
all
have
those
it.
places, too. Let's be honest, like Gino's and Umberto's and all, and any place you went to. When they opened 100 years ago or so, probably had the same mindset, too. Like, I have a very small budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to make pizza. It wasn't, let's do the highest craft and let's do what everybody else is doing.
Where's the woodworker? We'll get the nomad elephant carved in wood above our bar, like.
No, but it's spending the money you have on the ingredients.
That's
I think
right.
is the end of the day.
100%. That's 100%. That's what I said those words to my wife. I said, I'm spending everything I have on the right stuff, not the right things to sit on or things to. But So we go on this trip, and I think it really, really hammered home what we needed to do. And that's what we're looking at right now. That's why we were sitting at my grandma's. My grandma's awesome. She's amazing. They lived a great life. I mean, they did it all. And we're sitting at her table in her house, and we're talking through things. And I'm looking at her table. It's this really cool mid-century modern, like Formica table with these. Underneath the table is this walnut veneer or walnut. Probably for her, it's probably real walnut. She's got great stuff. And I looked at Brett, and I'm pointing at it. That's what we need. That's Pizza Box, and that's the bar.
Yeah,
right. It's walnut. Pizza Box is walnut, and it's the white Formica, just like that. Yeah. And it's like, this is it. And then I found those booths. I was like, they can't be brand new because it's just, I could buy them new. It's fine. But who wants new, shiny contour booths? They have to be, beat up a little bit. So found those, brought them in, and then we started everything. Once we figured that out, everything fell into place. It was really easy. It was a struggle in the beginning, and then we figured, it's like, get one thing. It's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Boom. 1,
then
2, 3, 4,
dominoes
5,
start to knock down.
That's what.
All right, so I have to ask one other thing. Being this New York style pizza, other thing I love about this also, Max, I think you grew up with this also. It's like a lot of these Neapolitan pizzas, they don't let you buy a slice, right? So if you just want a slice and a Coca-Cola or something, or whatever you drink, you can't do that. But with New York style pizza, you can. But as we talked about earlier, how do you eat it? You got to fold it.
Oh yeah, the fold.
The fold.
I like the fold.
Yeah.
But being with the Mexican heritage, I just like folding anything because it just makes me feel like I'm eating tacos. So
I see you more as the Travolta double slice. Are you not? Am I
stacker.
The double slice?
Are you looking at my gut? Is that what you said?
No, I'm saying no. It's more
Okay.
edgy. It's not edgy enough to go to. I thought we go further.
Yeah.
So that's where you put two pizzas on top of each other.
Yeah, the two slices. What is it?
Stacker.
Yeah, Travolta.
Yeah.
But the fold purpose is what? Why are we folding?
Rigidity to make it more mobile, so it's not just
Yeah, because it's not like a Neapolitan slice; it's a big slice. This is an 18-inch pie, so you need to
Physically is large.
Yeah,
so.
and then you also don't want all the sauce to drip out, so you're kind of funneling the sauce into
the grease. You want to keep the grease.
Yeah,
in.
keep the grease.
Yes.
Don't blot.
No.
So,
Yeah,
did you find yourself having to teach people to fold when you first opened?
I'm big on. It's funny to watch people eat pizza because they all do it their own way, but
fork and knife like a proper person.
Well, that was like the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, got
he got
lambasted
and
for
our
that.
president.
hammered for that. That's right.
Yeah.
Fork and knifers. No, there's a time and place for a fork and knife. I mean, for us at Pizza Box, we try to make sure that crust is stable and it does stand up, and you could hold the slice correctly, and get a good fold on it. It's really important. Teaching people, no, I think Neapolitan you have to teach people. That is a learning process. It's a training process, and it was exhausting. And I mean, I'm sure everybody who runs those styles shops feel that. I mean, I remember it. It's like, oh no. But you grew up with your neighborhood pizza spot. Probably wasn't doing what we're doing, but they were pretty much doing what we were doing.
Similar in size.
Exactly. It's a big round pizza. It sits on the table. It feeds 3 to 4 people. None of this is a surprise. You could do a half. You could do a slice. None of this is off-putting for Americans or for anybody. Yeah, because any part of the country, right? I mean, California, you have slice joints. I mean, this is not it's a uniquely American thing, which is sort of what I wanted to hit on with Pizza Box. It's not an imported Italian thing that I'm telling you about Italy, with Italy. And this is how they do it in Naples, because we're not there.
Yeah. All right. I have one other question myself. Maybe you know this. When we didn't go to Gino's, there was a specific other place we would go to. I don't know if you remember, but we would want spinach pizza, and Elio's had spinach pizza. Do you remember that joint? It was a little bit further up in the old village of Great Neck.
No.
But they were known for their spinach pizza. So I don't know if you've ever done that,
No.
but I would like to try that.
I'm into it. Spinach, is it on like what's going on here?
I mean, all the same. It was just like a spinach, and I think it was almost like a spinach Florentine dish, like on the pizza.
Okay.
But it was the same crust, same pie. It was just a little different flavors and spinach.
Timely with the St. Patrick's Day parade just happening over the weekend. You didn't do a green pie?
I missed it. I missed it. No,
A good version.
I got to stop sleeping in Pizza Box so I can see the world a little bit.
Yeah.
Jeez. No, I didn't. Yeah, no, I missed that. That would be perfect.
All right. We're going to do something a little different for the wife. You know what? Your wife, my wife, and your wife have all called in this show.
Do you want to know something really funny? This is who's calling me right now, and it's great because this is taped. They don't know. This is the tomato food rep. I think they know that I'm blasting him right now.
His ears are ringing.
That's him right there. Yeah, no, that's
like,
it.
I got a new case of tomatoes. It's going to be
It's
great.
the right lot number.
I am. No, I swear it's all the same.
All right, so we're going to play a little game. You said you love sports talk radio. We are going to do some sports talk radio for anyone that wants to listen. Maybe do it. We'll add it on.
That'll be for the subscribers only. We'll get to hear our sports talk.
No,
$49.99. No, we got to get into sports, but we'll do it post show as a bonus episode. But let's do a little game. We've got a couple things. Matt and I really don't know any of the answers, so this could just be a total train wreck. On a lot of shows like Around the Horn or PTI, they'll do like a little games where there'll be an open-ended question where there are many answers, right?
Okay.
Name all the number one overall quarterbacks drafted all time, and there might be 38, so like you got a bunch to go. We'll go around the room and answer these things.
Oh, jeez.
And when you when you're out, when you don't get one right or you say one incorrect, you're out. And we have 3 questions. It's a new little segment, little fun thing.
All right, this is all right.
First one, we're going to put it in your wheelhouse. You better have answers to this. And Matt, you should know this too from where you're at. We're going to start off with Anthony. We'll go to Matt. We'll go to me. We'll keep going around the horn. Patent pending. How many styles are there of pizza preparation? Am I saying this correctly? Like, how many different ways could you cook a pizza?
You just have to say one until it comes back to you.
Is it a regional? Is it are we talking about or just oven style or like what?
All of the above, I would say.
I think all of the above. It's
Okay.
like in the style of. You'd say this is this style pizza,
Sure.
and kind of, but it has to be different than another. It can't just be whatever. So all right, start it off.
So I'll take New York style. Is that what we're looking for here?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
New York style. That's the thin, wide, foldable kind of Oakwood
not
pizza
thin,
box.
pretty thick, but not as thick as deep dish. Right.
Okay.
I'll say Neapolitan.
All right, I will say microwavable.
Oh.
Oh,
That's a real pizza.
All right.
Come on.
Really? And I'm just kidding. I got Detroit.
Detroit pizza. I'll say deep dish.
I'll say gourmet West Coast Wolfgang Puck wood fire oven pizza.
Oh man.
It's really just wood fire.
It's wood, but it's but it's gourmet pizza like barbecue chicken pizza. That was from California, right there.
That is you guys. You guys. Wolfgang changed the game with that.
I know. I was there for it.
I'll take. This is a. I'll go low hanging fruit. I'll go New Haven.
What's New Haven?
Coal fire. It's the coal fire. It's Pepe's and Sally's.
Oh, it's like what you guys were doing in Bellamy. Okay.
Okay.
Now what you got?
I will say. What was I going to say? I'll just say Roman style pizza.
Oh, throwback. Teddy and Nick Anderer. We're getting close to me not knowing anything else at this point. Oh, wait. No, baked pizza is deep dish, right? I mean, you can't really call that. I got nothing. I'm out.
You're out.
I got Al Taglio.
What is that?
Roman squares.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Teddy mentioned that recently
okay.
too. That's a different style.
I'll go calzone.
Is that a pizza?
Wait, I need to go to the judges on that.
Yeah, I'm a judge now because I'm out. I don't think calzones.
Really?
So the only way that Anthony can win now is if he has another one that's legitimate. If not, you two end in a tie.
All right, let's take this for a second. Now, there's a running joke because somebody always comes in and screaming about Rochester-style pizza, and he'll probably listen to this because he's a large fan, but...
No one's listening to this.
No, that's right. I'm sorry.
Your mom
Sorry,
is.
Mom. Don't worry about it. He's not really mean to me. He's really nice. He just yells like he's really mad. That's not true. Buffalo has its own style of pizza, too. Those are burnt pepperonis.
Okay.
That's really cool. They do like these extra burnt cup and char. Like they're black. Who else do I have? There's Jersey. Jersey has its tomato pie. That would be a different thing too. Let's
Oh,
think
the
about-
tomato pie. Yeah,
I think
that's
if
true.
calzones are acceptable, then the tomato pie is acceptable. No,
But but that is a regional. That's Di Lorenzo's though. Is the benchmark of
Could
that.
you say Japanese pie? Because that's like a whole new
Yeah.
Japanese
Yeah.
pie. That's a
Oh,
different
Tokyo's
style.
crazy. Yeah, Tokyo's
Yeah.
got crazy
I'm
stuff.
back in. I win. All right.
No, you're
okay.
All right, let's move on to the next
next
question.
one. Yeah.
Here's another one. We mentioned it before. Greg Cox, our local. For those that are not in the Triangle area, sorry about this. This is going to be a little bit more of a regional question. But Greg Cox always names a restaurant of the year. Let's start with you, Anthony. Name one of the restaurants that Greg Cox has named Restaurant of the Year in his tenure. I think there are roughly 14 to 18, something like that, total.
Now, all right, I'll take the most recent. I got the Umstead.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the Umstead. Restaurant of the
They
Year.
won
did.
twice,
Yeah.
by the way. Do I get 2 points for that?
No, you get
No, you get one. I will say Crawford and Son.
I'll say the tie with Crawford and Son, the Cortez.
Oh, I got Bellamia.
I'll say the Durham Hotel.
Beatamonda.
One.
Yes.
Kim and Daniel are the best, by the way.
Pools.
I think it
Judges.
was.
must-
Judges.
Fact check, but I don't
Fact
think
check.
it was named it. But I'll say Death and Taxes.
Yes,
That
that
was. We'll keep Matt alive. We'll pretend
Yeah.
that it was.
No,
Now it's getting really
this
nitty-gritty.
is, yeah, we're deep in this.
I'd just be
rabbit hole.
guessing at this point, to be honest. Oh no, actually, I think I have another one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Is there another one? Is there
yeah,
more?
There are definitely more.
Well, Max said 14 and 15 because there's
Oh.
2 years where there was ties also.
What was the the Japanese place in Durham? Oh man, it's really good too. I can't think of the name of it.
This is good pod.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
out.
really good.
I got nothing.
You're out.
I'm pretty sure this is correct. Lantern, Chapel Hill,
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
I think Lantern did win.
because
He's-
Andrea Rusing would have been 2 times with the Durham and Lantern.
Andrea is amazing. I regret not working with her. That would be the one. Like I would sell the restaurant and work with her or Vivian. Those would be the two.
Yeah. I think.
We have one more question. Oh, are
I'm
you
pretty
out?
sure. I'm pretty sure Brewery Bavana was not, but could have been. I think it was on like his top. But I do want
I
to
don't
say
think that was a News and Observer. I don't think it was
No,
a Greg
he
Cox.
didn't-
number
Just
one, yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Just everybody
It
else.
counts every. It made every. It literally yes.
I do think. Enoteca. Enoteca
Enoteca
Van. Louis Cherry's Jam, where Ashley was the chef. I believe Enoteca Van was a restaurant of the year way back. We will fact check, and I will put this on at the very end.
I'll yield that to you. But yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Last one of these questions.
This is going to be good. This is going to go on for a
we're
while.
the food
This
and
is-
beverage,
man.
so we got to get to the beverage side. We're going to throw this totally on you right now. We got the Italiano over here. So let's name Italian grape varietals. Now, Matt, how many do you think
So
there are?
I just want to clarify something. If Cappy Pete is listening, she would say Italian grape varieties. Apparently, it's wrong to say varietals. Just one thing.
If you're doing a plural, was that?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so how many varieties of grapes?
Yeah. So in fact checking, I thought there were a lot more. We both thought that there were 1,000, but I guess there's 350 acceptable.
Where's
So-
Cappy? Get her up here right now.
Yeah.
I want her in
She's
the
probably
game
at
with
Fox's
us.
right now.
She's probably like looking out right at us. So let's start with you, Anthony. Come on,
Let's take Sangiovese down.
boom.
I will say Grillo.
Oh, I'm just gonna be easy. Pinot Grigio. Come on.
Oh, good. Well done.
Yeah.
Frappato.
Pinot Nero.
Malvasia.
Norello Mascalese.
Oh, nice. You pulled that out early.
I'm going to sit region by region here.
So can I say like another clone of Sangiovese? It's in Brunello Gentile.
That works.
Okay.
Because you could say Sangiovese Grosso,
Yeah.
which is a different varietal.
I mean,
And
as long as somebody gets some wine after this, then that's fine. Yeah, that's great.
We can make that happen.
Bring it. Yeah, exactly. Bring it out. Let's go.
Keep going, Anthony. What you got?
No, you're up.
You're up.
I just said
Oh,
Sangiovese
Sangiovese
Grosso.
Grosso. Okay.
Oh, all right. Nero d'Avola.
Corvina.
Primitivo.
That was literally what I just had. I was just going to say Gaglioppo.
Molinara.
Sauvignon. Yeah,
Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah.
Sauvignon. But the Italians just call it Sauvignon.
on. This is not quick fire.
Oh,
Let's go.
Dolcetto.
Fiano.
Oh, you're going south, aren't you?
I'm going region by region. It's the
okay.
only way I can organize this in my head.
I'll keep with my theme. Rondinella.
Barbera.
Ionico.
Cortese.
Molinari.
I already said that.
You did?
You're out.
I'm out. Damn it. When did you say Molinari? Was the first one?
No, it was the middle of my Amarone.
Three Amarone, so got it. All right, I'm out.
Has anybody said Nebbiolo yet?
Nobody said Nebbiolo, no.
There you go.
Nebbiolo. Freza.
Oh, Barbero.
Yes, I
he
said.
said
Oh, you
that.
said that? Oh, I'm not paying attention.
See, that's the problem.
Oh my god.
Why people just don't
You gotta pay attention.
No, we need like the scoreboard up. I need Vanna White touching it
We're
up.
going to need a producer for this.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
We need some
I'm
pizza
out.
and Primitivo.
I'm out.
Anyway.
All right, that was awesome. I think we all kind of each won an event, so that's it. We're all fantastic. We all deserve a trophy.
Yes, we're all super knowledgeable.
Thank you guys.
Real quick, how do we find you? Just if you want people to find you online and social media and all that stuff. Give us some.
Oakwood Pizza Box NC is the Instagram handle. Check us out at oakwoodpizzabox.com. And just find me. I'm not technical. I live at 610 North Person Street. Bring a Krispy Kreme donut and have fun.
Closed on Mondays.
And Tuesdays.
And not open
Tuesdays.
for lunch.
No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday lunch.
Yeah. And when do you have the gluten-free pies?
Thursday.
Thursdays.
Let's get out of here, but I do want to stay tuned for some hot sports talk. Matt, do you have anything else for Anthony before we head out?
I just want to say, go to Oakwood Pizza Box. You will eat and drink extremely merrily.
Thanks for listening to the NC F&B podcast. And if you've stuck with us this long, review us on iTunes and remember, 5 stars are encouraged.
Yes!
With authority!
Yes, we have Matt and Anthony coming into you from CBS or NBC. This is NBC.
NBA on NBC, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, John Tesh. Probably get sued by playing any portion of that song on the podcast, but we are here to get some hot sports talk. New York sports talk. Let's start
Ooh,
with
I
the
love
Le'Veon
this.
Bell trade for the Jets. Anthony,
Signing.
what say you?
Signing.
Signing, that's right.
Listen, the Jets need playmakers. They have none. They've had none for about 20 years now.
Curtis Martin,
The
last great running
God.
back for the Jets.
Yeah, Curtis Martin. Great memories of him. I miss Bill Parcells. I don't know what he's doing. I'll take him to coach a team, but Adam Gase will do, and his cocaine eyes or whatever's going on with those eyes.
Yeah.
That
I have to say, though, Max, we talked about this earlier. I'm foremost a Giants fan, but I actually love talking Jets football because,
wreck?
because the ceiling is up and nobody really cares if you lose because you're almost expected to lose. So winning is just so much fun with the Jets.
somehow, my grandfather always said, you want to be the coach of the Detroit Lions. He's like, son, listen, coach the Lions.
Right.
Lowest
Why?
bar.
If you win 5 games, they'll build a statue.
Okay.
Sure, but
Yeah.
let me ask, as two New Yorkers over here, it's funny. You have two professional teams in almost all of the sports, right? You've got 2 baseball, 2 hockey, 2 football, 2 football. Only 1 basketball.
No, 2.
Oh, 2 basketball. That's
The
right. Yeah,
Nets.
the Jets or the Nets. I'm sorry. But it seems like with all of the major sports in New York, there's always the team that's supposed to be the best, and then there's the team that flies under the radar. So, like, the Yankees are supposed to be the best, but a Mets fan can, like, always just say, we're bad. You know, and the Islanders are kind of the one no one cares about, but the Rangers are supposed to be the best.
Right.
And so with that, the Giants are the elite, team, and the Jets, they get to fly below the radar.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment?
That's a dead-on assessment, yeah, I would say.
But I think their fan base is the same, too, so they're just miserable people. They accept the loss. They know what's coming. The Mets, Jets, Islanders fan, I know so many of them.
I like those guys. That's who
those
I
guys
like.
are just like, oh, man. It's like the lovable losers there. They're squads.
So you're a New York sports radio guy. Obviously Evan Roberts, who's Joe Benigno's partner.
Oh, yeah.
He's Mets, Jets, Nets. So talk about, although it's arguably much better to be a Nets fan than a Knicks fan these days, but for historically, that's going to be really tough.
He always talked about going to the games. He had to be the only guy going to those games.
Oh.
I've been to some Nets games. There's literally 15 people there. It's like,
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm going to sit down there now.
But have you been to the new Brooklyn Arena?
Yes. Different. Totally
Yeah,
different.
that's kind of cool. All right. I want to get back to Jets football for a second.
Yes.
Because, so arguably, I mean, it would seem Sam Darnold, very promising second-year quarterback, and he now has one of the best weapons arguably in the league to throw to. It's kind of setting up for a magical combination. It's like there would have to be a disaster to not make the Darnold to Le'Veon Bell connection just magical.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you say to throw to, I feel like you're talking about a receiver, but Lev Bell receives a lot of the balls.
Yeah.
Though, what you got to look at that is he is his safety blanket, his security blanket.
Right.
Because now you got Robbie Anderson who's coming into his own.
Yeah.
Who's the tight end that's
Herndon.
Herndon? He looks like he can be somebody.
Quincy Noon was really solid.
And Quincy
too.
Noon, yeah.
And then now you got Kalichio Zameli on the left tackle from the Raiders, who should be good and will shore up that line for the very patient Le'Veon Bell. But I think that's the smartest plan you could do with a young quarterback is give him somebody like Lev Bell to take half the burden.
It's like when Troy Aikman started, he had Jay Novacek, right? And Jay Novacek would catch 80 to 90 balls a year.
I think it's more like because he had Emmitt Smith. That's the
Did
parallel.
Novacek ever drop a ball?
Probably
My dad
not.
told me that early on. He's like, son, you got to watch. Novacek never drops. He's never dropped the ball. It's never happened.
Probably didn't, yeah.
And he literally, his hands were amazing.
Probably never when it counted.
No, never.
When the game was on the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, every time.
Those Dallas Cowboys, being a Giants fan, I can't stand the Cowboys, obviously. And those Dallas Cowboys tight ends who
Speaking
Jason
of teams
Witten
that everybody
just
hates,
came back.
let's talk about my Raiders. Because we just picked up the other of one of the three triplets, Antonio Brown to the Raiders in their last season in Oakland before going to Vegas. What say you of East Coast guys that really don't give much two shits about West Coast football? What do you guys think is in the future with AB, with Carr thrown to AB, with Gruden as the coach?
If Gruden doesn't break Carr, I think you got a chance. Gruden seems to. Did you hear those stories last year where Carr was crying in the huddles
Yeah.
and he was getting yelled at all the time?
Visibly, you could see him crying on the sideline.
That's rough. I don't think you got a good connection there if your quarterback is in tears.
I ditto what you're going to say. I'm not sure that Gruden's all in on Carr because that's really the biggest question mark. Because there's lots of talk that they're going to go after Kyler Murray and try to somehow finagle a way to get him in the draft with all their draft picks because they have, 3 first-rounders?
They do have 3 first-rounders.
Yeah.
My take is, though, you don't spend all the money on AB, who is already publicly could be a major problem. He is our version of Terrell Owens at this time. So you got maybe 2 to maybe 3 solid years left on AB's prime. And he could still play longer, but I mean, as far as prime being a dominant,
he's
world beater,
31.
31,
so-
yeah, you don't have.
a couple of years, 2 years. So do you really think that you're going to restart with a new quarterback, a rookie, mind you, and create all of this dissension in the ranks? I don't think so. I think Carr is the quarterback for the next at least 2 to 3 seasons. They may draft a quarterback next year, but right now, defense is of the biggest mind for them. So if they can shore up defense, you still have Marshawn Lynch on the team, technically speaking. And so he's good goal line. You have Jalen Richard, who is that Charlie Garner-esque player back from the early 2000s.
Charlie Garner, wow.
And then you have, AB is kind of like our Tim Brown of that time period, although we also had Jerry Rice back then. So their second receiver they picked up was Tyrell Williams from San Diego.
Yeah.
They dropped Jordy Nelson, which was crazy. But they're starting to shore up that team.
Did you see that? Just interesting, random, that they also dropped A.J. McCarron, who they traded for midseason as their backup quarterback?
Yeah, so that's weird. They really don't have a quarterback, which then leads to think, well, maybe they draft a quarterback this year, but
To be their backup?
Wildly known he is the heir apparent, but years down the line.
But don't you think that's going to screw up Carr because he's only this is his 5th year?
Yeah, I mean, he technically could play another decade if he was healthy and successful.
Yes. Anyway, I think what we're going. I hear your point, and that makes sense. But if you don't fully believe in Carr, then you're going to move on from him. So, and I think that's the question at hand: is does anybody? Are we confident that John Gruden is confident with Derek Carr?
But how about
I am.
You are.
I mean, I would take Carr on my team. If I'm the Giants, I'm going to do backflips for Carr if they let him loose.
But
Interesting.
But I think you also have to realize it's a copycat league, right? So look what the Rams did. You got the rookie quarterbacks on a set deal. Young guy, all right, he's pretty good. better than Trent Dilfer of the Ravens Super Bowl years, right?
Yeah.
But his money is set, so you could spend wild money
That's
on
the thing
Aaron
about having a
Donaldson,
rookie quarterback. Yeah.
It's what you did
on
with Russell Wilson on his
Yeah.
first rookie contract. They went to the Super Bowl. They won.
Yeah, and they should have won that other one
Yeah.
if they
And I hope
ran the ball with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully Mike McCaggan of the Jets wakes up and starts buying. You got to spend the money now because you got a couple years here where you have a value at quarterback. So maybe
Well,
you set that
the
up.
Jets are certainly spending the money.
Let's
just
talk
keep
about
going.
the most dynamic offense that has just been put together now.
Okay. I want to go on the record because I know where you're going. This is my prediction for the Cleveland Browns this year.
That is where I'm going.
They're going 12-4. They're going to win the division and then lose their first playoff game.
Ooh.
I would consider that a huge success because now they have ODB.
Sure.
They have his LSU
Jarvis
running
Landry.
Jarvis
Right,
Landry.
yep.
I mean, they're best friends. Those guys. That might be the most challenging, the greatest duo of receivers. People sleep on Jarvis Landry's ability. He is
He's awesome.
unbelievable.
Yeah, no
But
question.
now, if you have a guy that
And they
takes the
have-
number one corner off, and you
yeah,
get Jarvis
no,
to just run wild,
Not only
look
that,
for him to be the big possession guy, 100 catches.
totally. But they also have that rookie. Well, he will be a second year, Antonio Callaway.
Yeah.
who's nice. And if it wasn't for he slipped to like a 4th or 6th round out of Florida.
He's a head case.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a head case. But let's be
Off
honest,
the field
a lot of
issues,
receivers
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's put ODB in front of him to mold him.
Yeah.
Great job, guys.
He's going to set the room. He's going to set the tone.
And who's the
Hold
coach
on.
now?
On top of that, so
All right,
Freddie Kitchens.
Is
who was
Bob
the-
Wiley still there, the offensive line
Oh, the
coach?
really
That
heavy
guy's
set- he
great.
was
Oh
hilarious.
my! And the best is he drives a Maserati too. That guy's
Oh
the
my
best. That
God.
guy's my hero.
Right. How does he fit into that
I have
Maserati? That
no
guy is
idea.
enormous.
He's got a white Maserati. Great.
It has one seat.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. So
Center drive.
what also people are sleeping on the tight end, this guy Njoku.
Oh, yeah.
He's nice.
He's Njoko.
He is no Joko. And then you got Nick Chubb on his second year. Plus they signed, which is not politically correct, but they signed Kareem Hunt, who will come back in week 9.
I do find it interesting. The policing off the field issues is a very interesting thing. If the police themselves are not going to pursue, or the prosecutors, it's interesting to see how. Because you think apply that to a different industry.
Right, but that's the NFL personal misconduct.
No,
That
you
is
have
applied.
to. I mean, you have to, because otherwise,
That is applied in every industry right now, and that's the slippery slope. Is that anybody that does anything wrong is now blackballed forever? I mean, Louis C.K. Where is he? Like we don't. He
They were
was the top
picketing
person.
outside of Cary. He did a show recently. They were picketing outside.
Right.
I heard about the.
But now people are just accused. Now,
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I know it might sound like a total crazy person by saying that because Kareem Hunt, what he did was on camera. But when I watched it too, I was like, really? This is as big as of a crime as
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly what he did.
It looked like everybody was hammered drunk, and he was like pushing people over, almost in, dare I say, playful way, but just more like a, hey man, get off me. Like there was a lot of antagonizing, going back and forth, and then
Yeah,
you could look at it.
what Ray Rice did was much worse.
That
Oh my
I
God,
have no
yeah, he needs
to-
respect
yeah,
for. And
get-
Pac-Man Jones, all that stuff. No, those guys hit people.
Yeah.
Kareem
Beat.
Hunt was like being like attacked, not attacked, but like verbally attacked. And he's like, dude, just leave me alone. And when he pushed, I mean, it looked like Vlade Divac, the guy that the gentleman that he pushed. It looked like Vlade Divac in the hole. Like he just fell right on his ass. I'm like, there's no way you would have fallen over if you were pushed that lightly by this person.
I love how every Max Sports reference is like early 2000s, late 90s.
That's
like,
right.
Marv
like-
Albert.
The
yeah.
greatest era.
Marv was calling those games. No, I'm going to take the Browns. I tell you what, if I was in Vegas right now, I'm going to take the under on their win count. I
Okay.
am not
smart.
buying the hype train. This is going to blow up.
Yeah.
It's going to blow. It's
Rookie coach.
Rookie coach is.
Second year hothead Baker Mayfield quarterback.
I'm surprised. Listen, I think they've done a great job building talent in that building, bringing it in. But you have to have a steady hand to manage those persons.
Yeah.
How do you manage those guys?
John Dorsey, I guess, is their like steady hand, supposedly the general manager. But
All right,
yeah.
let's switch sports right now because
Wait, hold on. We didn't get to talk about my team.
Oh.
So I have a question for you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, and we'll get Giants. So you mentioned it earlier. If the Giants could get Derek Carr, or would you rather take, knowing what you know right now today, let's say you could get Josh Rosen from the Cardinals for, let's say, a second rounder. That's kind of what they're saying. Or you could draft Dwayne Haskins with the 6th pick overall. What would you guys do?
They haven't scouted. I read the report. They're not even scouting Haskins.
Is that right?
But I thought the funniest part was the Giants said he was not mobile enough.
Right.
Is Eli more mobile than Haskins?
Yeah. What do you?
I want a foot race between those two right now.
He did run over a 5 in the 40-yard dash.
rough.
Yeah. So this is pretty slow.
All right. So if I'm your agent, right, I'm like, all right, Max, we're gonna go to the combine. Listen, you're really good. You could be a top 10 pick. You're slow as shit.
Yeah.
You're not running. No. My man's not running this thing.
Yeah,
he's just launching the ball.
Right.
But
He's just going to launch it.
I am not a Tom Brady believer or hater. I'm a hater. I'm a hater of Tom Brady. He is the slowest
Tuck rule.
person. The Tuck rule forever destroy anything that. And he's from the Bay Area. I should love Tom Brady, but I don't. I can't stand him. But he's not a fleet-footed person, but what he does is move in the pocket better than any quarterback that's probably ever lived. He is more aware. So if anybody, I mean, and Eli is pretty damn aware of himself.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He was aware enough to escape and beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl throwing to David Tyree.
Well, the craziest thing about Eli is his ceiling when he's on is just so effing high. It's incredible because he makes some of the most idiot mistakes on his floor that I've ever seen a professional of his ilk do. It's just like, I haven't seen high school quarterbacks make some as dumb plays as you do.
You never saw Peyton do dumb things. He'd lose games, but he didn't do stupid things.
Right. And Eli will do stupid things. So, anyway, I posed the original question. Let's say you're the general manager of the Giants. It's on the table. You can get Josh Rosen at number 2, and you can get Dwayne Haskins, the number 6 pick. What say you?
Do we think Josh Rosen is a new, a franchise quarterback? I'm still, jury's out for me on that, but he also had a horrible team that he was playing with.
Yes.
It's hard to say. So I think if the terms are there, you go Rosen because you have a little bit of tape on him. You know what you're going to get. You don't know what Haskins is going to be, and you still have a lot of building.
Yeah.
So I think they're 4 years away from really being a real team. So I think you gotta do something because Eli's done. But he'll be there this year. But you got to get someone in. So let's get Rosen in.
So you would go Rosen.
I want to know the bigger picture for you as a Giant fan. Does Gettleman know what he's doing?
I don't think so.
Does he have a plan? I keep hearing about it, but does he have one?
I don't think so. However, I will say by dumb luck, I think I am a big fan of the trade of OBJ. Yeah. And if you look at it this way, not signing Landon Collins, we ended up getting Jabril Peppers, who arguably is a younger, less expensive version of Landon Collins.
You landed on his feet there, and you don't need to spend all that money on OBJ when you don't have a quarterback to get him the ball.
We've never won a playoff game with OBJ, so I say good riddance to bad rubbish.
Now, do you? Oh yeah, would you trade Saquon for Darnold? Do you miss that? Do you miss
that is such a tough call. But I think ultimately yes. I love Sam Darnold from the first time I watched him in college. I was like, this guy is unbelievable.
No man, but Saquon is a world beater. He is a difference maker. You just got to build around that team. That's the thing with Saquon. You don't need a Peyton Manning. You don't need a top line quarterback. You just need somebody that can execute.
Yeah. Well, they say they're going to get with that 17th pick. They're going to get Daniel Jones out of Duke, which everyone is like,
just pick
don't
up
do
Blake
that.
Bortles and call it a day.
The boat. You're going to bring the boat in?
Yeah.
The best.
All right, let's flip real quick because we actually have another podcast we got to do in about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Last question. Speaking of basketball, my team, the Lakers, they picked up a guy that's kind of well known this year, and at the end of the season,
it's working out,
basically have the same record they had last year at this time.
And they just got beat by the Knicks last night.
Yeah, so I think LeBron will not make it to the playoffs for only the
second time in his career. I think only his rookie year.
His first 2 years, he did not make it to the playoffs. I just checked it, but so basically, since his second season, he's been to the playoffs every year and been to the finals. How many?
8 straight years.
So he's not doing that. So what's the problem in LA as the Lake Show? Is it LeBron getting too old? Is it the teammate around him? Is it Luke Walton? All of the above? What say you?
I tell you, I watch a lot of Lakers games because I get home at midnight. So you catch I don't understand. I know he's a local guy. I know he's a Duke guy. I'm a Carolina guy. I get it. Ingram to me is not an NBA. He's not somebody you build around. Lonzo Ball's shot is broken. He is broken. Yeah. And if you can't shoot in the NBA, what are you doing? So, I mean, you don't really have a shot. You got to be able to knock down shots, and you can't have guys on the court that can't do it. And Ingram plays, and then he doesn't want to play, and then he plays, and then he doesn't want to.
So you're saying it's more the support team?
Listen, LeBron and the aura around Kevin Durant's right. The aura around LeBron is ridiculous.
Yeah,
get off of the TV shows in season. Maybe they taped them beforehand. I don't know. You're getting destroyed. Play the damn game.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Don't be distracted.
Let's focus here. Yeah, but his agent leaking the trade stuff, the team imploded after that. Because we'll trade the entire Lakers. We're going to trade Genie Bus. We're going to trade.
You can have our uniforms.
The brother Bus who was kicked out. We're going to trade him in there. We got popcorn. We'll get you front row seats at the Staples. Yeah,
the ghetto dogs out in the front.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. So
what do you think, man?
it's a many pronged answer, but yes, Brandon Ingram is a problem. What do you do with him? But also, people are like, oh, well, we have LeBron. And now we need another star. Well, why do you need another star? Develop the talent. Arguably, Kyle Kuzma can fill it up. Arguably, Brandon Ingram could be talented, especially playing alongside LeBron if they did it well. But yes, also people often forget, before there was a point where the Lakers were actually like number 4 in the playoff seeding, right before LeBron got hurt. And then he got hurt and missed 14 games. And that's when all the Anthony Davis hoopla started. And then of course you're going to be pissed. You're like, what do you mean? You're trading me and like you don't want to play with me anymore? And then everything imploded from there. So all those things, now the whole thing is blown up. But like I just don't get the answer of being, oh, you need another superstar. Like LeBron is the greatest player in the world. Develop the talent you have with you. Yes, Lonzo Ball, but apparently Lonzo Ball's defense has been a huge thing. And also think about this. When Gary Payton started out, he couldn't shoot a lick.
Yeah.
And he was the glove, and then he figured out how to shoot. So, I think you had enough talent there with the right coach and the right attitude that they could have made it work. And then also, I know he's like ancient at this point, but like the one thing the Lakers needed was shooting. Carmelo Anthony was there for free. All you had to do was sign him. Like, what are you going to lose? You signed Tyson Chandler and every other, guy that's over the heap that you could sign. So why not sign him?
I was shocked that Tyson's going to solve the problems. Let's bring him. We need Tyson Chandler.
Yeah.
This is who it is.
All right, we got to get out of here. We have another show going on. Last predictions. March Madness is starting. Give me who's going to win the whole bracket, Anthony.
Oh, the whole thing. I mean, I got to go. I'm not a homer, but Kobe White's great. You're not going to stop UNC. They're going to run anybody. They're the only team that's going to be able to stop them.
You heard it here.
They're
UNC,
going.
Anthony. Matt? Come on.
Man, I mean, I want to
sell
say
wine
UNC.
to
I want to say UNC as well, but like
you sell wine to Durham and Chapel Hill, so be very careful with what you say now.
I think it's going to be in the finals, UNC versus Duke. We're going to get another
very political answer.
Do you know that would be what would the rating be for that? That would shut it down.
Yeah,
that is amazing. That's must watch. Like,
do you think so nationally that it would get as much of a rating?
Oh my god! Well, that ACC
and
game.
Plus, Zion Williamson is.
Oh look, Zion's riding a bike. We gotta watch him do this.
I'm going NC Central. I think they're going to take it all.
I like it. There it is. Eagle Pride.
What's your little brother's name?
John. He's number 55 and
John Guerra.
In your program.
Guerra?
Guerra.
Guerra. Which means war.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
How we open the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That was another show. This is the sports show.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What's your sign out, Anthony, if you were the sports guy? Anthony, the sports guy.
Oh man, I don't have one, but we gotta who do we throw it to? Who's coming up? Is Mike Francesa coming after us?
Yeah. We got Stephen A. Smith saying nonsense for the next 20 minutes.
Oh God.
Misled, bamboozled.
I guess we'll see you on the next episode. Jacob deGrom for consecutive Cy Young Award.
Yeah. Oh. Boom.